What is up, Cahir Club, and welcome back to another CahirLIVE live stream. How goes it? I hope everybody's been having a great week so far. Well, I've had a great week. It is Friday. We are at the end of the week now, which is pretty hype, if I do say so myself. Hello, Bruger. Welcome back from your holiday. Felix, indeed, the emoji thing has now been added. Amoy's got a girlfriend. Hell yeah. Congrats, dude. What's it called? Yeah, congrats. That's really cool. And hello, Rabbit Thor as well. But yeah, today we're continuing on with Shiny Week. Last Shiny Week stream, we got to 200 encounters. This one, 400 maybe. We'll see. We'll find out. But yeah, it's a Shiny stream. I'd say we just hop right into it. I forgot to put on the counter, but that's fine. Because I've got the counter ready. Yeah. Okay. Do 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 do. Safari Week. Safari Week indeed. Oh, Rabbit Door's hopping on as well. You're doing it with me? Hell yeah. Now it's fun. It's an interesting way of hunting. I hope I've got Victory Bell around. I mean, I've not gotten... you know what? No, we are going to reset. Because I want to see what there is. We can't just hop right into it. We got to see what our options are. We can't eat without looking at the menu. We gotta look at the menu. It's actually a very fun method. Yammer ran away. Wait a second. If I can't read someone's full message, like if a word is missing, it's because of the new like thing. It's because of the new like icon. Because that covers chat. I'm gonna keep it real with you, YouTube. That's not a good place for it. There are better places for that. Okay, yeah, we got you. Flushed emoticon indeed. You know what, spell might as well go up front, right? Not like we'll be battling anything. Alright, what we got? Over there's Badoo. Pretty good choice, to be fair. Over there is Skorupi again. Everyone can see you're playing a Super Kirby Crash. Quite. I mean, no shockers there. Bruger playing a burger? Bruger playing a Kirby game? What a shock. Alright. Morel. I'm hoping for the gunk. I'm hoping for the gunk. I'm still hoping for the gunk. Gonna be honest. My hope for the gunk is starting to go down. I'm starting to... Why are there so many Psyduck? I get it. There are Psyduck here. There are Psyduck in the grass. Bad news. No gunk. No gunk, Krogunk. That's a shame. You hate to see it. You despise to see it. Suboptimal. Anyway, let's go up to Area 1, I think. Because I think that's where Skorupi was. Alright. Was this where Skorupi was? I'm gonna go with maybe. That's not. That's where Wooper is. You'll have to see it. Right. It's like that one Mega Man meme. I am not acquainted with the memery of Mega Man's, unfortunately. Toxicroak? Since when? I didn't know that was an option. You mean Megamind? Ah, I love Megamind. It's funny because everybody keeps on saying that that's like an unrecognized classic. I'm gonna be real, guys. I think at this point, Megamind might be a recognized classic. I think we might have gotten to the point. We might have gotten to the point where everybody recognizes how great Megamind is. I think we did it. I think we got that. Megamind is no longer unrecognized. Everybody loves Megamind. It's a damn good film. Alright. Can I, like, get more proof of that Toxicroak? No. On one hand, Toxicroak. On the other hand, that is not the form of Krogunk I want. That is the evolution. Right, you're going for Krogunk. Well, best of luck with that. Because this fucker's rare. I found its evolution first. Which is impressive. I didn't even know Toxicroak appeared here. But all the same, good luck. Krogunk slaps. I love Krogunk. Who would have guessed? Right, I need to get into the habit of going X Pokemon, spell, Sweet Scent, enter. That needs to be the order. That needs to be the dub. Go on X, Pokemon, Sweet Scent, enter. Alright. It's funny because now I beat... Wait. No, I beat Tears of the Kingdom after my last stream. I beat Tears of the Kingdom, by the way. I have completed Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The game is done. Okay. Must be like a 5% encounter. Yeah, good game. I do think, I dare say I like it more than Breath of the Wild. I still need to, like, do more. I might try to 100% it at some point. I'm not sure if I'm willing to do that immediately. Because on one hand, what's it called? Good game. On the other hand, you don't really want to play a game too much. Or I don't want to play a game too much. Like, I was already feeling, like, a bit of fatigue in the game as I, like, was getting to the end. So I'm not sure if I have, I'm not sure how much I have, what's the brain? Oh wow, no, that thought just went. Oh yeah, not sure how much I have left in me. But I'll probably come back to it at some point. So how much traveling time do I have by playing Tears of the Kingdom? Did I do? As in, like, how much was I traveling in it? Or how much spare time did I have to complete the game? Right. But yeah, good game. Would say it beats out Breath of the Wild. Because again, it feels like... Well, I wouldn't really just call it Breath of the Wild DLC. I think at the same time it feels like the ultimate version of Breath of the Wild, if that makes sense. Like an all-around upgrade in so many ways that really deserves it being its own game. But additionally, I feel like, in the same way Platinum invalidates Diamond and Pearl, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom... invalidates Breath of the Wild. Like, there's no... There is need to play Breath of the Wild again. But, like... I feel like if I want to go back to that version of Hyrule again at any point, I'm not going to go to Breath of the Wild, I'm going to go to Tears of the Kingdom. Because the, like, few setbacks that Tears has, like, worse champion abilities and stuff. Like, even given that, I wouldn't just play Breath of the Wild for that. I guess maybe to beat the final boss again, but... the final boss in Tears is, again, a massive step up from Breath of the Wild's. Like, I'm a Dark Beast Ganon supporter. I like Dark Beast Ganon at the end of Breath of the Wild. I think it's a fun final fight. But I get what people are saying when it feels like a very cutscene-y fight. Tears of the Kingdom has a boss fight that's very similar to it. But I feel like it does it better, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't just feel like a cinematic. It feels like a proper boss fight. Instead of just a cinematic you can play. Starly! Instead of just a cinematic you can play. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom would recommend. Gets the Cahir seal of approval. I don't think we need another sequel in this Hyrule, though. I'd rather they focus their efforts on making a new Hyrule. I want to see... Well, yeah, like, I think a decent chunk of the joy of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is discovering stuff in the world, you know? I think the Sky Islands and the Depths work for Tears to give it a breath of new life. And obviously it makes sense that they just made a sequel to Breath of the Wild to do more on the giant map they made. And there's still, like, a bunch of stuff to discover. With, like, all the caves and things around. As someone who'd more or less combed through every inch of the Breath of the Wild map, minus the Koroks. But I think you can only reuse that Hyrule a certain amount of times. Like, I don't think I'd want to go into that Hyrule again in a new game, if that makes sense. Like, so I'd rather a fresh take on Hyrule than just another one in this Hyrule. With the brand new rocks to uncover. And 1,200 Korok seeds instead. Nintendo's basically like, thanks, create a new one, teeming with life, that knows not what it has lost, but what has been given. I don't even know what you're trying to say, but it's calm it, Socrates. But yeah, I'd rather a fresh Hyrule. I feel like I have zoned out a little bit too much in that conversation and not been incrementing enough. But, oh well. We'll be a bit behind. This hunt... I mean, then again, there's no guarantee that we'll actually get a shiny. I think what I'll do is... Safari Week this week. Next year, I'll do it again. But we'll just continue this hunt. Basically. Like, we'll continue where we left off. Unless, of course, in fact, you know what, not... I was going to say, unless, of course, the Paldea DLC, the Scarlet Violet DLC, adds in a new Safari Zone. But even if it did, I'd rather hunt in this one. Just because, just because odds are lower. Like, you could do a Safari Week in Paldea. You could also get about 30 shinies. I'm sure, like, a Paldean Safari Zone goal would be less get a shiny and catch it, and more get every shiny in the zone. Complete the Safari Zone living decks. Alright. It is interesting though, because in the fact that I've now beaten Tears of the Kingdom, I decided to, like, look in places in social media I haven't been looking lately, as to avoid spoilers. Like the Twitter For You page, which isn't really something I ever used before, to be fair, but, like, occasionally it put me on it and I'd, like, almost see a spoiler. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if people are talking about Tears of the Kingdom stuff on here, then I wanna see that. So I went onto it, and now no one's talking about Tears of the Kingdom, everyone is talking about Spider-Verse, which is another thing I haven't done yet. I've not seen Spider-Verse yet. I want to. So, I can't really do that now, lest I get spoiled. Which wouldn't be fun, I don't think. But one thing I will say about the Twitter For You page, it's really good at putting hateful shit on your feed. Like, my following feed has been, like, pretty chill overall, you know? But, like, on the For You page, there's just a lot more, like, just vile stuff that makes you go, oh. Wow, I really didn't want to see that, you know? That just kind of, like, upsets you. And you're like, oh. Oh, no. Like, it makes me wonder if it's manufactured to do that. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, if you feel social media is draining you, but you don't want to leave social media, I'd say my best recommendation would be either to make a brand new account, or just limit the one that you've already got. And make sure you're only seeing posts from people you want to be seeing posts from. Because that really makes the world a lot more digestible. Obviously, just a general break isn't a bad thing, and should probably be prioritized over something like that. But you can prune your social media. Quite literally any social media you go on throws quite targeted, hateful shit at you. You just want to look at rats, man, leave you be. That's understandable. Also, hello, Fresh Stewart. How goes it? Welcome to stream. Not seen you here in a while. Just your many a rat post on the Discord. Which are equally appreciated, to be clear. But yeah, that's fair. Like, especially with, like, new apps, you've got to get the algorithm to learn you, if that makes sense. Which is a bit dystopic, I feel. But, like, it's why I don't use TikTok that much. is because it's not gotten to the point where it can suck me into it. Because I look at TikTok and it just doesn't have stuff that interests me at the moment, because it doesn't understand what I want to see yet. So, like, I'll, like, go onto it maybe, like, once a month, at most. I've not been onto it in over a month, actually. Like, totally, because I've not been posting shorts. I've not been posting onto it, as of late, which, probably a me thing. Like, I should probably be posting on it. Let's be real. But... yeah, I need to, like, maybe post some of, like, the better shorts. I think after Sweet ended was when I stopped. Oh, it's nighttime now. Crazy, that. Yeah, would you look at that? 8 PM. Bonkers. I find it funny how Pokemon games just go. Well, older ones, actually. I'll cut some slack. Paldea has an actual day-night cycle. Noctowl? I don't know why I'm so surprised. It's nighttime. Wait, has the entire encounter pool here changed, or is Toxicroak still around? Oh, cool, that answers that. I didn't expect it to be so instant. It's like, wow, I wonder if this thing's still here. Yeah, it is. Just wanted to make sure I was aware, eh? Didn't want me to quit. Although I would rather a shiny Krogunk than a Toxicroak, and it looks like we won't be getting one of those in this patch. Although then again, will I be getting a shiny anything is probably the better question. But that's just what shiny hunting is, isn't it? You know what? That's the first one of the stream. I'll give myself one thing. That is the first accidental catch of the stream. First accidental ball usage. That hasn't happened before now. Which is, in my book, an achievement. But yeah, one of my friends recently turned to me and said, Cahir, I've started a shiny hunt of my own. And by that he means he sets a random combination on a lock. On like a, what is it called? Numerical lock? Like one of the ones that has like, the little like wheels of like 1 to 10 and you like kind of scroll them to get the number you want. Like one of those. He set a random thing on that lock. He doesn't know what it is. And now he's trying to guess it. By going up one at a time, I assume. Which... yeah. I feel like there is a world I could criticize him, but it isn't the one where I'm shiny hunting for Professor Juniper's Minccino. Because, I'm not gonna get that. That it basically is the exact same as finding the correct code on a bike lock. More than when you think about it. I used to use a little lock to count the encounters. I guess the only benefit there is, that has to be a number between, like, 1 and however many 9s you can put on the lock. If it's like a 3-digit, you can't go over 999. You can't get to 1,000. Wait, can you? I guess 000. You can get to 1,000. I retract my statement. 1,000 is an option. Like, So I guess you could argue it's poor man's shiny hunting. I threw mud at it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to throw mud at the owl, I promise. The mud that I just threw at that owl? Accidental. Alright. But yeah, one of my favorite things to do after consuming any piece of media is find the nearest video essay about it, you know? Like, that's one of the joys of finishing a piece of media, is to see what some random white guy thinks about it. That's the best way. It's like a ritual, you know? You watch a movie, you go and watch a review, you know? You finish a TV show, watch a review. Video game, review. Sometimes you'll find like a niche video on it. Like maybe like examining one of the characters and you'll be like, ooh. Sometimes it's just nice to like binge watch a bunch of stuff about said bit of media. But there's always stuff to watch. Unless it's like a really obscure random bit of media. But I find that isn't as common, you know? Like, I feel like even more obscure bits of media still have like one person doing video essays. Who doesn't love a good video essay? That's the joy of YouTube, honestly. Is you can have any person do, like, a review or a deep dive on anything, and they can say whatever they want, you know? Like, they can sound as smart as they want to, but spew as much shit as they can. And there's nothing stopping them. I should make a video essay on something where I'm just spouting bullshit the entire time. Spouting misinformation and lies about the thing the entire time. And, like, what are you going to do about it? I sound like I know what I'm talking about, so clearly I do. Clearly I am doing this correctly. I should write down my book of ideas. I don't actually have a book of ideas. I should get a book. I shouldn't. My handwriting is atrocious. Absolutely foul. Like, sometimes I'll look back at something I wrote, like, a few months ago, and I'll be like, wow. I have no idea what I was even trying to say here. But that's why I was allowed a laptop in exams. Was because the examiners just would not know what I'd written. Honestly, I remember when I took my GCSEs, I was given a laptop, of course, so I could write down all my answers and stuff. I feel like I've stopped incrementing again. I'm not doing good at this. Yeah, laptops during GCSEs. They were like blank laptops, wiped and whatnot. So, there wasn't like any like games or anything on them. They didn't even have internet access. That was like blocked and everything to make sure you couldn't like use them to cheat and stuff. Makes sense, all logical stuff. But on them, they had some stock photos preloaded. Of just like random shit. I think there was like a field of wheat I think that was like a cake or something. Good old ocean view. Who doesn't love an ocean view? There was a koala. The koala's the big one. It wasn't like a big koala, I don't mean that. But I mean that one, my bread and butter. Every exam, I finished the exam. I had extra time and everything, so I finished the exam. I drew a moustache on that koala. Just a shoddy, like, moustache and paint on the koala. Save it. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't know if it was reset between exams, so students couldn't pass information between each other secretly. But I still drew that moustache on that koala. And that koala looked good with the moustache. Who doesn't love a good old mustachioed koala? Alright, me. Koalas are dumb. The smooth-brained meme came from koalas because their brains are literally smooth. It's funny because I went to Australia when I was like 6. I actually went again when I was 16. So I guess at 26 I'm gonna have to go again, lest I break the ritual, which would be a pretty big travesty. Anyway, so I go when I'm 6, and I could be a pretty grumpy 6-year-old because 6-year-old, you know. So I've got this picture of myself with my family at an Australian zoo, standing beneath a koala, just glaring at the camera. I've got like a hoodie on, the hood is up, and I'm just glaring into the camera. I don't know why I was so upset. Did I have a bad night's sleep? Was I jet lagged? Was I told I couldn't get a toy from the gift shop? I don't know. I just know I looked incredibly angry. I was glaring into that camera. Boring holes into it. Rob, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gone well. I was just talking about koalas. And pictures from childhood. The other picture I remember from childhood is, one time I went to... Was it? No, I don't think it was Legoland. I think it was an actual theme park. Maybe. It was a log flume ride, is the point. That's like the big thing, because it was a log flume ride. And, we took home the picture of that log flume ride. And I don't know if it was specifically because of this, or just like a nice thing to remember it by. But there is such a look of terror on my face. I don't think I could even begin to replicate it. Like, absolute sheer terror on my face. Maybe if one day I ever do show my face publicly, I will release the picture of me as a child looking terrified, but for now you'll just have to imagine it, but fear incarnate. It certainly was a week of the year. No, hopefully the weekend goes a lot better. But indeed, Babby Cahir. But yeah, childhood pictures are always funny. We have a nice, like, wall full of, a bunch of pictures from Just over time. How's this going on my end anyway? Yeah, pretty solid. What's it called? Yeah, I've been grinding out on a MMO the past couple of days. I evolved my Axu and found out it learns Outrage one level before the level cap of Kanto. So I now have a Fracture with Outrage, which is pretty solid, pretty good. And of course, as you know, I beat Tears of the Kingdom because I messaged Rob at about 4 AM, being like, dude, what a final boss fight. Because it's a good one. Like, an absolutely brilliant final boss. I kind of wish it let you use the mechanics of the game a bit more. But it's up with some power. And yeah, congrats again. That fight went hard. It did. It was such a good fight. Like, it's a very cool culmination of, like, not just Tears of the Kingdom but Breath of the Wild into that, I think. Whoopsies. Well, I guess we can find out how likely I am to catch this thing, huh? Well, fuck me, okay. Just wasted my luck there, I'm sure. He is just standing there. That is the face of a man waiting for his mother to get off the phone with a friend to tell her he shat the bed. Oh my god. He is waiting. That is... I'm glad that I saw this, because I'm probably not going to get a shiny Toxicroak. If a shiny at all. Oh my god. That's great. That is such a pose for that model. Oh my god. I'm never gonna get over that. Holy shit. Ugh. When you yawn, okay. But yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Chestnut Raid's been confirmed. It's happening next week. Which is gonna be pretty cool. Chestnut and the Donphan Paradox forms will both be back, it seems. I'm guessing they fixed whatever errors meant that they took it off for so long. But will be exciting to do it, I'm sure. So we'll be doing that next week. What's it called? Would recommend staying tuned. I'd be ready to join in with that. Part of me wants to say after that I just want to focus on doing, like, only the big raid streams. Like, big raids, but I feel like they're going to keep those up for now. Oh, nice. I wonder what we need to get this one done. That's the point. What type is it? Rock, right? I guess water doesn't really work. Might have a counter to grass. I'll poke around. Will I poke around, actually? That's a good question. Or will I just go into it with what I already have and hope for the best? I feel like that's what I managed to tend to do. But I guess now I have free time because I'm not playing Tears of the Kingdom anymore. Free time being a very loosely used term. So fighting steel grass. Yeah, more or less. Steel I'd say is off the table as water because it's a fighting grass type, isn't it? It's a grass fighting type, you know what I mean. Could bring Raina, maybe? Does Raina resist fighting? I always forget if Bug resists fighting or not. Like, I don't know, sometimes resistances are kind of obvious, but like, punching a bug would be hard, but after you hit the bug, it's not living, you know? It's neutral, I think. Okay, yeah. Then that might be a odd one. Might be an interesting choice, but not sure how well it would do. Alright. Yeah, overall, let's say steel isn't a good bet. Which kind of leaves just fighting and grass. Use chestnut. Obviously. You can just use chestnut. Against chestnut. Genius. Or I guess technically you could use his Sway and Decidui. Who is of course fighting in grass also. It's interesting how many of the... Wait a minute. It's interesting that all of the secondary types of the Hisuian starters were used again in Paldea. Like, we got the fire ghost again. We got water fighting instead of grass fighting. And then we got grass dark instead of water dark. I wonder if that was, like, deliberate or not. I feel like we need to get more creative with secondary types, because I feel like we see the same ones, like, fanned around over and over again. And then, of course, sometimes we just don't get any secondary types at all. Like in Gala. Is there, like, any pattern? Gen 1 had secondary types for most of its ones, except for Blastoise. Do you still want to go by Absol, or am I going to call you, like, Doug now? I guess that's the question. But welcome to the stream all the same. I hope your week's been going... Yeah, I hope you've had a good week. We're at the end of the week, technically. Absol. Okay, yeah, cool. But yeah, Absol, I hope you've had a good week. I just realized that all of the secondary types of the Hisuian starters were used for Paldea. It's just... they weren't all in the same mon. Of course, Scaly Dirge is still Fire Ghost. Meowscarada is Grass Dark, is when Samurott is Water Dark. Then... Quavel is Water Fighting. Decidueye is Grass Fighting. Like... you're in a YouTube and Minecraft SMP now. Oh, hell yeah. I hope you have fun with that. Yeah, I used to stream Minecraft myself, honestly. Was thinking about one I was in a while ago. Myself today. Is always fun. I hope you have fun with it. I don't know, I've said it a few times, but my one issue with streaming Minecraft was... I just don't have enough creativity to, like, continuously play it. Week in, week out. Like, I don't get how people like Hermitcraft and, those groups do that. Like, I could never. Like, it felt like each server I went on, I had less ideas than the last. Like, I keep thinking about, like, one server that went on for a few months, and I genuinely can't figure out what the hell I spent most of my time doing on that server. Because I was still living out of chests, right next to, like, the husk of a base that I built. Like, I built, like, the exterior of it, but I never built the interior. It was... What's my favourite Pokemon? Krogunk, of course. Do love myself a Krogunk. Huge Krogunk fan. Love that lad. Incineroar, hell yeah. Incineroar is very cool. And Gardevoir, nice. All good choices. Surprised you aren't saying Absol. There's no laws against Pokemon. You better not be saying what I think you're saying. Don't make me say the line. JK, it's absolutely Absol. Okay, cool. You see, I was surprised. But I know sometimes people name themselves off like one Pokemon, but another one's secretly their favorite. Like Game Boy Luke's mascot is like Rotom, but his favorite's Mew. But Gardevoir is a close second for not that reason. Good, good, good. Gardevoir's still a cool Pokemon. It's a powerful Psychic type, and now it's a powerful Fairy type as well. Like, I think it's cool. But it's definitely one of those Pokemon that you can't say is cool because of certain subsect of people who, you know. How have I used 3 Pokeballs? Wait, no, I have, haven't I? Alright, so we're about an hour into the stream and we used 3. We're not in danger. If every hour I use 3 balls, then I'd be out in 10 hours. Thankfully, I'm not streaming for that long. I wonder what my longest listed stream is. It's definitely one of the Scarlet Violet ones, because I, like, did those, like, dawn till dusk, basically. I, like, deliberately ended the stream around dinner time, specifically to keep the VODs up, because YouTube doesn't save VODs over 12 hours. Like, if you have a VOD that's over 12 hours, YouTube won't save it. You've gotta, if you want, like, a whole VOD that's longer than 12 hours to be saved, you've either got to download it yourself and upload it yourself later, or just split it up into smaller streams. Which is what I did. I think I've been forgetting to increment again. Alright. There's a new event in Lumion Legacy. Oh, nice. I hope you enjoy it. Reminds me that they're rolling out the PokeMMO Johto thing. They're doing a test server for the Johto region. that you can participate in. I think it's starting tomorrow, the 10th. Yeah, but yeah, it'll probably be coming out soon because of that. Indeed, Rob. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to do it immediately after I finish Kanto. Which honestly might be not be a bad choice, because I remember when alphas were released and it crammed up the servers, and I feel like Johto's gonna, like, cram up the servers even more. I guess shiny Absol? I'm doing other hunts at the moment, sorry dude. Got my plate full with hunts. Is it even in any other games than this one? On Switch anyway? I'm not even sure if it is. Like, it's in this one. Because all Pokemon from Gen 1 to 4 is in this one. But that'll just be, like, in random corners of the underground. Well, yeah, I'm saying it's in BDSP. But isn't any others? Alright. Like, I could see it being in the Sword and Shield DLC, but I don't think it's in the base game. Definitely not in Scarlet Violet. Don't think it's in Arceus? It's surprising, because Absol's quite a popular Pokemon. Hell, it even got a Mega. I mean, I guess Megas aren't... No, Megas are mostly a popularity contest, let's face it. I think as a society, we can move past the idea of Megas actually being a good mechanic. At this point. We're long enough away. We're long enough away to accept the fact it was a pretty mid mechanic. That, like, was marketed as, like, a way to make weak Pokemon stronger, but, like, there are, like, 4 or 5 Megas that are pseudos. And then Mega Rayquaza. I much rather like the modern mechanics we have that, like, can be done by any Pokemon at all. But like a Bomber Snow, there were a few. There were like a few littered in there, but like mostly it was just the popular Pokemon getting them. Like, it was never Pokemon that needed them. And additionally, like, the Pokemon that did need them now no longer have them, but it feels like Game Freak are unwilling to do anything with Pokemon that had Megas in the past, for whatever reason. Abomasnow got, like, no buffs. That too. Abomasnow was just, like, slower and a bit bulkier, I think. But it's still just, like, a shit enough type that it didn't save it at all. I still used it in my first white playthrough. But that's because, the Abomasite is one of, like, the 7 Megastones you get during the main game. When in comparison, the rest of them are just all gotten in the post-game. That's, like, my other issue with Mega Evolution, is just how inaccessible it is. Like, you can't use the Megas you want most of the time in a main playthrough. Because, like, all of the Megastones are post-game locked in... Like, a lot of the Megastones are post-game locked in, like, the games that they're in. I think Oraz does it a bit better, where I think it's a decent chunk of them are just after the... What's it called? Are just after, like, the Groudon Kyogre event. But still, that's, like, the end of the game. Like, availability is tripe. Much bigger fan of newer mechanics. For a Beedrill got Mega in Slowbro. I mean, yeah, those were, like, some of the few deserved Megas, I'd say. Like, I'd say those were, like, ones that were, like, actually needed and deserved. But, like, on the other side of the coin, you have shit like Mega Salamence and Metagross. And Mewtwo. And Lucario. Like, just so many were made for more Rule of Cool than, like, this Pokemon actually needs an upgrade, you know? And again, I just feel like it's now limiting the Pokemon they can do new forms with. 'Cause they seem reluctant to do forms with Pokemon that have Megas. When, like, a Pokemon like Mawile could do with an actual evolution. That would be cool if, like, Mawile and Sableye got actual evolutions, you know? But they're never going to get them because they got Megas. We'll be lucky to see, like, alternate forms of a lot of those Pokemon outside of new temporary forms like Gigantamax. Alright, I'm going to take a drink quickly. You will make sure you're staying hydrated too. Right. But yeah. Honestly, I just wouldn't mind the next gen not having a battle gimmick. Like, gimmicks I'm fine with are stuff like Ultra Beasts, you know? Like, Ultra Beasts and Paradoxmons, I'm fine with gimmicks like those. Those are fun gimmicks. Because less than being like, this Pokemon gets buffed in this fight, it's just like a general, this is a new Pokemon based on an old Pokemon, or is, like, entirely alien. But, like, I think battle gimmicks aren't needed, you know? I mean, even then as well, like, variants, regional variants, and, the other one. Convergent? Convergent forms? I can't remember the name for it. It's not an official name, I don't think. But, like, those are also technically gimmicks, I'd say. And, like, stuff like that I'm fine with, because it's, like, more of, like, a Pokemon thing. But, like, I don't know, I feel like we could just do without gimmicks. And that's one of the reasons I liked Terastallization a lot, is because as a gimmick, it's very, like, unobtrusive, you know? Like, the idea of changing a type is a very unobtrusive mechanic in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't get in the way of anything. Like, say... what's it called? Like Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution is Pokemon gets a new form and is stronger. Terastallization feels more like a surface level thing than... It's still technically a game changer, but like less of, less obtrusive, I'd call it. And that's why Z-Moves is my other favourite mechanic. I'm not sure if I like... I think I do like Terastallization more, honestly. I do like Terastallization a lot. Because it's like a cool idea. But again, I think I'd rather nothing than a gimmick. My favourite gimmick is nothing at all. Just give me a basic Pokemon game again. Which I guess is kind of what Legends Arceus is. No, I'd say it's not with the battle system. Which... It's like a better one designed for player versus one fights. Like the alpha fights. I'd say this current... The Legends Arceus battle system works well for alpha fights, but not for trainer battles. Trainer battles are a lot harder in Legends Arceus, because the system just isn't made for them. And that's why the Volo fight's one of the hardest ones. Because it's just not... The battle system isn't made for it. A battle in Legends Arceus is a slugfest of, like, you beat one Pokemon, they beat one Pokemon, you beat one Pokemon, they beat one Pokemon. But if you kind of fall out of that tempo, you can easily lose. Like if you're, say, fighting a Legendary with a team of 2. In reference to his Giratina, I mean. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay, as they say. Have I been incrementing still? I'm not sure if I have been. Smoke bombs in. Hello veggies, hello melon, how goes it? I hope your week's been going well so far. Or been going well. It's the end of the week, really. Not really a so far at this point, is it? I hope your week's been going well. Yeah, we are continuing on with Safari Week today. Your week's been good? Hell yeah, glad to hear it. But yeah, I was just talking about how I would much rather no gimmicks be in next gen rather than like any terastallization or rather than like terastallization or megas or anything. Oh, Noctowl. What's so funny about Noctowl? Remember using Noctowl and being a menace with it. Noctowl is kind of cool. It wears on you fast, though, when it's, like, every encounter in Crystal. Like, Crystal's nighttime selection is abysmal. Literally couldn't escape it in my encounters at the end there. They were everywhere. You're able to one-shot Celesteela and Aurora with it on Showdown. Bloomin' hell. That is impressive, honestly. Alright. Not possible? How so? I mean, I'm guessing this wasn't just like a regular Noctowl attack. I'm guessing it was buffed. You have Tinted Lens on it, Life Orb Hurricane. Ah, fair. Wait, even resisted? Because Celesteela is steel, right? Oh, also Nasty Blow. Okay, yeah. Now I'm on board. Setting up tends to do that. Tinted Lens makes all resisted hits, like for example Steel, resist flying into neutral. Oh, okay. I guess that's my fault for being unknowledgeable on abilities. Interesting. I didn't realize Noctowl had that. That's actually pretty cool. That is... What Pokemon have Tinted Lens other than Noctowl? Alright. Venomoth, Illumise, and Yanmega have it. And other than that, there are some Pokemon with it as a hidden ability, like Hisuian Braviary, Sigilif, Mothim, Noctowl, and Butterfree. Also low kicks. Interesting. So nasty plot Life Orb, Tinted Lens Noctowl was able to one-shot as Aurora Celesteela. He did Sticky Web to outspeed some Pokemon, but sweeping is your specialty with Noctowl. Understandable. Did you know Polka is weak against Salamence? No other dragon type. Wait, why is it weak against no other dragon types? Forgot about low kicks. Don't forget about low kicks. I like low kicks. I used it for a bit in my playthrough. Low kicks was cool. You used one too, but you don't know. Don't diss my boy. Coolest bug... Wait, is the coolest bug type in the generation? I can't remember what other bug types we got, actually. I just know that Spidops got the short end of the stick. You don't like Tinkerton? I like Tinkerton. Tinkerton's fun. Low kick's just not mid. Quite. I don't like it that much. I'll be honest. It's pretty cool. Oh, Google made a mistake. Instead of Dragon type, Palkia was weak to the Salamence type. I see, I see. Well, not entirely wrong, I guess. Can I, like, move this? No, I can't. Sorry, I'm getting annoyed by the Bloomin' Heart thing in the corner. Because it's genuinely, like, blocking chat. And I'm, like, having to guess words. I'm having to use autocomplete in my head. It's a bad place. Maybe when more time passes, but you don't know. Forget a lot of Gen 8 too. Oh well, guess you're just getting old. I mean, to be honest, I don't remember much of Gen 8 either. Like... Honestly, I mostly think it's because, what was it called? Gen 8, I actively was kind of less into Pokemon for a bit. So I feel like I'll probably do better at a Gen 9 quiz than Gen 8 quiz. Like, I didn't really, like, fall out of it completely. It's just, I wasn't playing it as much in that period of time. Isn't very competitively. Competitively, yes, playthrough pretty good. Yeah, no, I don't know. I found it pretty solid. Your favourite starter from Gen 9 is the Donald Duck evolution. Yes, I'm also a massive Quaxley fan. Quaquaval's cool. I like Quaquaval a lot. Although, honestly, I think it's a pretty solid gen for starters. Which is nice, a nice redemption after Gen 8. Which is, like, a lot of okay starters, you know? I hope we get more varied body types of starters in Gen 10, though. Like, Skeledirge was nice to spice it up, but, like, Quaquaval and Meowscarada are both very much in the tall, lean camp, if that makes sense. That, like, starters ended up falling into. Like, I love the Gen 7 starters. They're great, but, like, fundamentally, they're not. Primarina's the most differently shaped, and that's because Primarina's got a tail, like a fish tail. But yeah, past generations have definitely had like much more varied final starter forms. Here's an interesting fact. Clodsai's name comes from a word you can't remember, and it means king. So Clodsai took crowd on hill before me, peasant. I mean, that's just fair in multiple ways, honestly. Yeah, like, Grottle and Torterra are interesting. Exactly. Grottle to Torterra, interesting, nice, like, all fours. And Poleon's, like, a very different shape to Infernape. Udova's another good example, because Superior's a snake. Emboar, pig. And Samurot's on all fours. That's a meme that's already been posted, you thief. What? Thief is a bit harsh of a term. He was just sharing the fact, innit? Never claimed to have noticed it himself. You're messing around. Okay, cool. I don't know. I know some people get very, like, defensive over meme thievery. And obviously, tone and internet don't match well. People complain about fighting type starters, which is reasonable. But also remember dark type is also common starters. For starters, Greninja, Incineroar, Hispanic Samurai, and Meowscarada. Yeah, but that's only come around in the past, what's it called? That's only been coming around since Gen 6. You make a great point, though. We haven't had a generation without a dark starter since Gen 5. And then even then, the Gen 8 starter was a Gen 5 Pokemon's new form. So you could argue since Gen 4, well, you couldn't argue since Gen 4, but you could if you really tried. No, Gen 8. Gen 8 still counts. Because, what was it called? Hisui and Samurai was Gen 8. For Pokemon for emos, that's why so many dark types. You think you've been overly critical of Gen 9? There's a lot about it. There's a lot you like about it, you swear. No, I get that. I feel like it's easy to be like... It's easy to find, like, holes to pick than... Wait, no, I've got a metaphor. If you've got, like, a big, pristine wall... You're more likely to notice, like, the holes and blemishes in it than the wall itself. Boom. Get metaphored. I feel like there are more compact ways to say that, but I can't be asked. Take it in its big, clunky, unrefined form. Yo! Speaking of Pokemon games... Depends on what colour the wall is. If the wall's got, like, holes in it, and, like, gaps in the paint, I think most colours would still show that. But when you see things like Pawmi evolving to Pawmo, you're going to be annoyed, you get me? No. Pawmo's cool. How dare you insult that little guy for standing up? I'm glad that that guy can stand up for itself. Could have stood up into Pawmo, you don't know? I mean, like, I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's cool. I'm just happy to have, like, a Pika clone that, like, does something more interesting. Because I feel like the last interesting Pika clone we had was, like, Emolga. Because it was the first Pika clone to be like, what if I was a different type? You know? I'm looking forward to the first Pika clone that's, like, an entirely different type. Not counting Mimikyu. I don't know. I'm not sure if I count Mimikyu as a Pika clone. Because Mimikyu isn't necessarily a Pokemon that just looks like Pikachu. Like, Mimikyu's trying to be Pikachu, you know? Like, Mimikyu's thing is it's imitating Pikachu because it wants friends because Pikachu's popular. So it's trying to be Pikachu because of that. So I'm not really sure I'd count it as a Pika clone, you know? It feels like a very different concept. And they have Togedemaru that gen, which kind of cements it for me. Is Apollo the first electric fighting type? Is it? Pokemon electric type. This isn't the way I want it to be laid out. Normally I always gas up Pokemon database, but that was not a good layout for trying to compare types. Alright. I don't know, I think the one Pokemon that might be is Zorora? But I'm not sure if Zorora is a fighting type or not. Well, yes, but no. Numerically in the Pokedex, it is. But Iron Hands is in the same generation. Zorora's pure electric. Yeah, I think it is. It's definitely not electric fighting, but yeah. Iron Hands is in the same gen. So, when it rains it pours, I guess. When it rains it pour me's. Almost before Iron Hands in the Pokedex. But, like, they're in the same generation, so I'm not going to say it comes before. Because we don't really know when they were developed. Like, they were released to the world at the same time. Alright, I'm gonna take a drink quickly. Like, I'd say because they're in the same gen, then neither really takes priority over the other. If it was like a staggered thing, where like Iron Hands was released in the DLC or some shit, then I'd say sure. But no, it's not. It's a main game thing. Think about it, Iron Hands comes from Violet, which the Pokemon come from the future, which means technically Pormo's the first electric fighting type. Like... yeah, but no. Wait, what's the Galapika clone? What's it called? Morpeko. The one that's hangry. It's got its hangry form. Because it's hashtag relatable. But yeah, no, I like... I don't really think you can view things in a lore way when you're saying, like, first thing, you know? I can deny it, and I will. I don't even think Iron Hands is from the future. I think the Paradox Pokemon are just that, and that's Paradoxes. They're Pokemon made by Area Zero to feed into Churro and Sada's dream. They fed off their dreams, and that's why Koraidon and Miraidon are Paradox forms of Sylazar, because Sylazar was the partner Pokemon of the guy who first explored Area Zero. Yeah. Scarlet Paradox Pokemon come from the past, Violet Paradox Pokemon come from the future, but I'm saying they don't. I'm saying they're not real. Screamtail is said to be from 1 billion years in the past by some sketchy magazine, yeah? That doesn't make sense, considering Kabutops and Omanyte existed hundreds of millions of years ago. Like, why was Screamtail around before them? That doesn't make sense. I think that it merely just feeded off existing ideas and made them into Pokemon. They're not actually from the future or past. They're frauds. The first Pokemon was Arceus, the second was Screamtail. Exactly, honestly, that's so true. You make a great point there. Omnipotent Screamer. Precisely. Precisely. You love to see it, or I guess hear it. You love to hear it. Right. I'm going to do 2 more encounters, then I'm going to go to the toilet. And then once I am back, we will continue on with the hunt. Where? Cosplay Pikachu didn't change Pikachu's type, did it? It just gave it more moves. But yeah, I know I just asked a question, but I am going to go to the toilet quickly. I'll be back in just a moment. Make sure to stay tuned for more shiny hunting, more Safari Week, more Safari Week. And we're back. Back again. Tell your wives, tell your friends. Piss Safari GG indeed. Alright. Also, I just noticed something. We might have to stay in the fight for a bit to notice to get the visual on this. Camera pan. Camera pan. Camera. There we go. Okay. Look at the Pokesh. Is that clipping through his like sleeve, or is that meant to look like that? Like, is that clipping, or is it like deliberately designed to be like that, to like come through the sleeve? Because, like, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's clipping through it, but I'm not sure if that's just like a deliberate but strange design choice or not. Like, you can only really see it up close, you know? It's not showing it because it knows I'm talking shit. There we go. You could see it for a second there, I swear. I think it's supposed to be attached to the sleeve, but maybe you're just thinking Gen 2 watch. Maybe, that's true. I hadn't considered that. I don't know, it just looks a bit weird. It looks like it's unintentional, but I'm not sure if it is or not. I'm not sure if that is the case. It's a shame that these are limited time outfits. Like, anybody playing these games now can't get those outfits anymore. Like, you can't get the platinum outfits for Dawn and Lucas. Because they were a limited time event. And that's a big shame, I think. Although then again, I'd be interested to see how many people buy the games at this point onwards. I mean, I guess there'll still be a few buyers, to be fair. That is a thought, though. I wonder how steeply the purchase of games, like, drops off. Especially Pokemon. Because, like, obviously, like, the first game of a generation tends to sell throughout the generation. But, like, generally, the newest Pokemon game is the one that you want to get. You'll probably get the games eventually. I don't know, I feel like if there's any game to skip, it's these ones. Like, you can get a better Sinnoh experience from Platinum, and do you have Platinum? Or Diamond and Pearl? Or were you just talking about in general? I'm now realizing I wasn't really just talking about BDSP. But, like, yeah, Pokemon... You have Diamond. Your Pearl card was stolen when you were, like, 11. Oh, I think I remember you, what did you say, Plat? I'm gonna be honest. There is a giant heart covering the last word of the first line of that sentence. I can't see it. Plat. It is Plat. I think I remember that story, actually. I think you told me that one before. In general, you guys having money to buy games sounds nice. It is quite, to be fair. Back in times when I've had money to buy games, I have appreciated having it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd recommend BDSP to anybody who has a past version of these games, because they're not all that different. Like, if you're strongly against emulation and would rather have a game on Switch, then sure, I'd recommend them. But they're like 40 quid for this. Especially when there's like Legends Arceus. That's like a better Switch version of Sinnoh. A much, much better Switch version of Sinnoh. You never played Let's Go or BDSP? I feel like Let's Go is a good one, honestly. Let's Go, I'd recommend. BDSP, can't slate. Can't slate Let's Go either, but, like, I feel like Let's Go has more cause to exist. Because it actually is trying to do different things as a remake. It doesn't have much post-game in it. I feel like that's an issue with most games now, Pokemon games nowadays, though. I'd say the only reason that's not an issue with Scarlet Violet is I just tried to catch Morel. Hello, Missy. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Crazy that. But yeah, Let's Go I feel like stands out more as like a game to get than BDSP, because BDSP are just Diamond and Pearl again. Let's Go actively tries to do things differently. It has the Alolan forms in it. It has Mega Evolution. Whatever your opinion on Mega Evolution is. It's been a while since we saw a Toxicroak. Yeah, it's got Mega Evolution, and it's got the Master Trainers as well. So, like, to be honest, you'll be getting whatever you can secondhand. BDSP shows up a lot bundled with Switches. Oh, that's fair. That's understandable. Platinum is more expensive, but you guess BDSP is more accessible. Yeah, no, exactly. That's like my thought. Like, newer people wanting to play Sinnoh, BDSP is probably like the best and cheapest chance. You think you're planning to when you got your Switch, but you got Smash instead. That's also fair. That's so cute. She is quiet. As much as she hates her medication. Like, I'm not sure if she just stays outside for most of the day because she doesn't want to be medicated or because it's sunny at the moment. It's fun using the controller. I don't know, I'm not 100% sold on the mechanics. Handheld mode, I'd say, is my preferred way to play it, because you can just kind of aim it like a shooter. With or without gyro controls. And you can also use your finger. Use touchscreen. Which is the thing I appreciate, and I feel like a lot of people sleep on with the Let's Go controls. But yeah, overall I'd say Let's Go are better remakes than BDSP. I think a lot of people hate Let's Go, and I feel like it's kind of fallen out the conversation at this point. But I'd say they're, like, a lot better games than a lot of people give them credit for. And, like, additionally, they look better. They're some of the best-looking Pokemon games, I think. I'm not sure if that's a conversation everyone's ready for, though. The ball is nice to hold. Oh, the ball controller! I apologize, I got fucked over by the heart again. I hope they reposition it soon. Because it's genuinely making, like, reading chat harder. Like, I have two options here. Number one, spread the, like, chat box really wide so I can, like, see to the end of the messages. But then, like, if someone sends, like, a wall of text, I'll still be interrupted. Or just, like, leave it like that and suffer. But then it doesn't cover most of my screen. Like, I like to be able to check on my model and stuff to make sure it's not lagging out, or, like, I don't want to, like, look at the VOD and find out that, like, the whole stream my model is just, like, looking off to the side. Just the whole stream is just, like, my model in this. Or, like, I guess this is worse. Because then I'm not even looking at the screen, you know? Anyway. But yeah, the ball controller seems fun. I also like how it has Mew in it. A lot of people didn't like how it had Mew in it, I remember, though, because people were, like, saying, like, oh, but that's paying to get a mythical. That's exorbitant. Which I guess is a thing they've run with. In the fact that, like, know, I don't mind the past game rewards, because I think it's like a little fun thing to have around, but I can see why some people aren't a fan of it. It's just like a fun little thing of like, oh, you have this game, then you can do this, you know? Maybe they should make the interactions have less stakes than be mythical, so maybe that's like the fix there. Have it be like smaller things. No, missed that sneeze. Okay, you try to either name all the Gen 8 Pokemon and you got 65 out of 85, so it's not all that bad. Oh, interesting. Maybe I'll do that someday. I wonder how I would fare. I don't know, I remember doing pretty decently at Squirtle, right? I think I did. I think I did well enough at it. Wait, was that on Twitch or on YouTube? I cannot remember. I cannot remember at all. Alright. It's interesting seeing, like, because every time Twitch does something awful, it seems a debate that comes up a few days later is the YouTube versus Twitch debate. Like, it's consistent, you know? Like, Twitch does something bad, a bunch of people are like, we should all move to YouTube. And then a bunch of people are like, I don't want to move to YouTube. And then, like, people are like, well, here are the pros of moving to YouTube. And here are the cons of moving to YouTube. And people always say there's low discoverability on YouTube. I'm not saying there isn't. But I feel like I've been discovered a lot more on YouTube than I was on Twitch, you know? Like, I feel like Twitch discoverability is a lot worse. Like, I'm guessing most people here found me through typing in, like, Pokemon Live. Or, like, a specific thing about Pokemon Live, like maybe, like, Pokemon fan game streams or Pokemon Nuzlocke stream. It was the Mario Kart for you. Oh, it was, wasn't it? I remember now. But yeah, was that, like, you, used the search feature, or was that just recommended? I know Rob was from a redirect. Yeah, Mario Kart Live or something, yeah. And I guess that's how, like, most people end up finding small Twitch streamers as well. But, like, I don't know. I feel like Twitch isn't better, even if YouTube's isn't good. You know? Like, one benefit of YouTube, and I think I need to, like, lean more into it and try to use it more, is that videos and shorts all help channel people into your streams more directly. Like, most of the time when you find a Twitch streamer, you find a Twitch streamer by watching a YouTube video of theirs first, yeah? But on YouTube, if you watch someone's YouTube video and subscribe to them from it, you'll be more likely to find one of their streams being recommended to you. Because you don't have to cross platforms to do that. Hello, quick question. Is it worth teaching your Metagross Thunder Punch and Renegade Platinum? It currently knows Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Hammer Arm, and Bullet Punch. Well, Meteor Mash and Zen Headbutt are good stab. Metagross's weaknesses are what? Ground and fire? I don't think Thunder Punch would cover any weaknesses that are more worth it than Hammer Arm, right? And you'll want to keep Bullet Punch because it's priority. And priority is always good to have around. So I'd say not really. Unless you value the paralysis over hammer arm that much. I guess it depends how common water types are. If like water and flying types are that big of an issue, then sure. That probably is a good idea. But yeah, it definitely depends. I only have a rock slide and that's on Torterra. Do you not have a grass type move on Torterra? You're currently doing Wake's Gym and you already have a Metagross? What's Renegade Platinum's level cut? Bloody hell. I mean, yeah, if you're about to do Wake's Gym, then maybe it would be a good bet. Maybe it would be a good bet. Just to, give you the upper hand on that. I am so bad at incrementing. Like, I'm normally good at it, I swear. I think it's because, like, this is a more hands-on controller thing. It's early, but you wonder where the next region will be based off. You don't mean water types specifically, you mean water flying types. Ah, okay. I mean, yeah, if they're that big of a threat, then sure. Like, I think it really depends on, like, what you're fighting. Yeah, if those are the issues, I would say Thunder Punch is over Hammer Arm. Metagross has the attack to back up viability. Exactly, yeah. Rob generally has good bets on that. Good takes on this. Good advice. Would trust Rob on that one. But yeah. Again, I hope it's somewhere not Europe or America. Because again, like, we haven't had... Like, the most out there region we've had since Sinnoh has been Alola. And Hawaii's technically part of America. So, like, I'd say that half counts, you know? I wouldn't mind another region based off of somewhere in Asia. Yeah, China, South Korea, maybe the Philippines. Australia is another cool one. But yeah, I'd say like preferably for me, I think somewhere South America, Africa, or Asia. Anywhere in those regions. Just because we've had enough of Europe and... yeah, I've had enough of Europe, and I feel like America... We've already, like, been to Unova, so I feel like another America-based region wouldn't stand out enough, when there are so many, like, cool cultures that have been completely untouched. You know? But yeah, Egypt would be cool for stuff like the pyramids. Then it turns out to just be Italy. I'd be down for Italy, because Italy's got a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah. Give us a decade before Italy. Give us a decade before returning to Europe. Like, I think, yeah, just not the European continent and not USA. Those are just my two hopes. I'll be fine with anything. I'll be fine with anything that just isn't, because we have been there enough. I think it is time to move on. In fact, you know what I'd even take? I'd take Gen 10 being another place in Japan. Because, like, it'd make sense that the 10th generation kind of loops back around to, like, Gen 1 and is, like, back in somewhere in Japan. That would be cool. I'd be down for that. Alright. Also, you now realize how bad Linoon is? Why, what'd it do? What happened? What happened? What gave you such an opinion? I don't know, I've never used Linoon, so I guess I can't defend it that staunchly. It's got good HN coverability from what I remember. It's so frail. I mean, it kind of looks it, huh? I feel like I could beat a Linoon. Oh, right, you know what? Question. Okay, so... I was recently, like... My eyes were recently opened to, like, a very obvious thing. And that is... Linoon, yeah? Evolves from Zigzagoon. Linoon. So do you guys pronounce it Linoon like I've been doing, or do you pronounce it Linoon? So I'm starting to think Linoon is, like, the correct one. Because it's Zigzagoon into Linoon. Linoon, like line, yeah. I'm starting to feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. The only way to do damage is Gluttony Belly Drum. Yeah, that's a pretty big risk on a frail Pokemon as well. I mean, yeah, I feel like most early game Pokemon don't really stand up, especially in, like... What's it called? Challenge runs. They tend to fall off mid-game. Ugh. Like, yeah, it makes sense now that I've been thinking about it, that it's just Linoon. But, like, I never really considered that before. I was like, why does Zigzagoon evolve into Linoon? Good job, Cahir. You missed it. You missed the point. Yeah, but who pronounces Delibird correctly? That's the better question. Delibird, like deliver. Delivered. Delivered. I'm gonna pronounce it like that from now on, actually. Delivered. Yeah, delivered's pretty cool. The issue is it fits into two very good syllables. Like deli bird, you know? Like, delivered is like delivered. So, deli bird. Delivered. But delivered. Delivered. You want to, like, shrink the second part down. It's uncomfortable to say it like delivered. If you're not saying it like delivered. Which I think is why Delibird. I'm guessing you're saying it's pronounced Delibird. Delibird. It's actually pronounced Iron Pouch. Who uses Delibird in 2023? No one. Iron Pouch only now. It's got a better alternative. A better alternative with an 80% accurate attack. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, she's grumpy because the cat flap shut, I think. But it needs to be shut because we need to give her a medication, and she always buggers off outside. Just in time for us to give it to her. So. She's inside now to make sure we can actually get that to her. Right. I wonder what general reaction would be if they did the black and white thing of only new Pokemon. Now, if they did the black and white thing of only new Pokemon. I feel like people would still be grumpy about it. In fact, I think people would be grumpy about it because it would mean the game... Surely if that happened, then there'd be very few Pokemon outside of the Pokedex in the game. So it'd basically just be like only new Pokemon in the game, right? And maybe a few mythicals. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see it. I'd be on board with it. But I could see a lot of people not being. Because of the fact that they basically couldn't bring any of their old Pokemon into the game. Oh, you forgot what happened with Sword and Shield. Yeah. Like, I could imagine that would actively impact the game. I think it would definitely end up being, like, remembered more fondly, like Black and White are. Because after the game is out of the limelight, out of, like, the position of the main game, or I guess maybe after the game's in the position where it would have DLC and another 200 or so Pokemon. I think it would, like, start to be thought more fondly of. But I think until then, it would be very disconnected from the rest of the franchise. Which I think would be a bit of a flaw with it. But again, I'd be down for something like that. It'd be cool if they did do that for Gen 10. To be fair, looking back, you don't know how many of Gen 5 you'd actually like if not for nostalgia. I think that Gen 5 has a lot of good designs, honestly. Yeah. Missy does as well. Like, Pokemon like Volcarona slap, you know? I think Gigalith is a much better design than Golem. There's a lot of good, but also there are some that are a bit... I don't know, I feel like that's the case with any generation, though, you know? Like, that's just, like, Pokemon. Even the best generation has a couple of duds. But the moustache. Oh, you make a great point. I did forget about Alolan Golem. Yeah, Alolan Golem does blow both Gigalith and original Golem out the water. It's like the vast majority of the early ones, though. Mana? Blitzel? Purloin's a good design. It's not a good Pokemon. But it looks cool. Timpole's cool. Timpole's another early Pokemon. I think people sleep on the monkeys. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be 150% with you. I think the monkeys are overhated. I don't get why people don't like them. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think they should start making more of the monkeys. You do actually like Simisage, yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden we're through most of the early Pokemon. And none of them are that doddish. And using Simipour in MMO. Honestly, Simipour is probably my favorite of them. I like Simipour. Simipour's cool. No, your cup of tea, thank you. They are creepy. I wouldn't say creepy. I like him. 10:40 PM, you're tired, so goodbye and good luck. Understandable, Brew Grey. Hope you have a great night's sleep. Oh. But yeah, Oh, have I not been incrementing? I've been pressing it, but I don't think it's been incrementing because it's not been selected. It was creeped out by them as Watch Dogs' eyes. I don't know, again, I don't even hate Watch Dogs that much. Maybe just because the Gen 5 Dex is bigger, there's a lot of others that conflict, that the conflicted feeling is stronger for you. Yeah, no, I feel like that's definitely probably the case. Like, the Gen 5 Dex is the biggest I think we've ever gotten. Actually, no, Watch Dogs just makes you violently ill. I forgot how harsh your hatred for Watch Dogs spreads. But yeah, yeah, Gen 5 Dex is the biggest. So I think that's, like, why a lot of people have, like, mixed feelings on it. It's because it's got a lot more opportunities to miss. But I'd say it's got a lot more opportunities to hit. The Gen 5 Dex in general, I'd say there aren't any Pokemon that I personally go ew at, you know? Like, I even don't mind Pokemon like Heatmor. Or Bouffalant. I think most of them are at the least solid. Would be interesting to see. You don't like Durant, really? I like Durant. It's an ant, isn't it? Durable ant. Got that fun interaction with Heatmor as well, which I think is fun. I guess the main reason I don't like Gen 5 so much is because they evolve so damn late. No, yeah, okay. I can't slate that. Gen 5 Pokemon do evolve really late for, like, no reason. Like, I don't know why they did that. I don't know what possessed them to do that. But I don't like that they did. Like, Litwick evolving into Lampet at 41? Whose idea was that? Why? It's a horrible idea. Oh, sorry, that was your idea. Why? What? You thought people should appreciate him for longer? Game Freak probably said, let's take an overdone concept, make it as shitty as possible, give it the creepiest eyes known to man, and release it into the wild to watch the Pokemon fandom squirm. I don't see why people have such raging hatred for Watch Dogs. I genuinely don't. Like, each time I see someone hate Watch Dogs, it's to just some new extreme. It's like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Wild hatred. Like, I feel like of all of, like, the starter normal Pokemon, Watch Dogs has got to be the most hated. The most despised. Like, I don't think there's any other of those Pokemon that's hated more. Like, I've not seen that much hate for, like, Oinkologne. And I think Oinkologne is an awful design. I hate Oinkologne. You don't think you have more loathing for any Pokemon? It's a vile... For any other Pokemon, it's a vile creature. I just don't have anything to say at this point. Nothing to say at all. So I can hear my cat downstairs screaming because she wants the cat flap open. She might come up here to regale us with her song soon as well. But yeah, what other Pokemon do you guys just despise with every fibre of your being? I'd say the closest I have to a Pokemon I despise is Spupa. I don't really know why. I mean, I kind of do. I think it's in part because it's like a downgrade from, like Sawaddle and Scolipede. Like, we almost were off and running with, like, actually good starter bug Pokemon, but then they just turned around and were like, Vivian. And fucked it over for no reason. But, like, Vivion's got a cool concept in, like, its wing pattern. So I think all that rage is then channeled towards Spupa. Also, Spupa's just one of the most forgettable Pokemon ever. And I will always stand by that fact. Like, Spupa was genuinely one of the least traded Pokemon on the GTS once it released. Like, I'm pretty sure that guy sat at the bottom of the charts for weeks straight because no one was trading it. Chatot? Wait, Chatot? Chatot's done nothing. My son, do not diss my son. What has Chatot done? I'm flabbergasted at Chatot hatred. Abysmal catch rate. You see, I guess I can't slate that as much. Chatter is a broken move, enough said. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I love Chatter. Second fear is the Monkey Trio, then you guess you really don't like Squawkabilly. I'm kind of indifferent on Squawkabilly. Like, it's alright. I have no strong opinions on it, I don't think. I like how they actively made a lore reason for the fact that it's not always the Corviknight taxi, though. Like, oh yeah, Corviknight exists in Paldea, but so why don't they use that for its taxis? Because there's one Pokemon who just has it out for it. Really fucking hates it. So, if anything, I like the fact that Squawkabilly exists because it actively gives reason for Tinkaton to be an arsehole. You know? Helped make Tinkaton an arsehole. And I appreciate that. Your least faves are Execute, Farlinks, and Binnacle. Do I see the theme? You dislike multi-Pokemon. And Stonjourner, not to be a happiness hater. I don't know, I feel like Stonjourner is one of the Pokemon that if I get around to using it someday, I'll actually start to like it. But it's one of those Pokemon that, like, I've completely unintentionally... Wait, no. Never mind. It's in Sword. It's a Sword exclusive. Yeah, no. Stonjourner's a Pokemon I think I'd like if I used it, but, like, I've not used it. You would say all loathing is not as harsh for them as they get to live. They get to live. Oh, you can't really look at those new Tumbleweed guys. I don't know, I think they're goofy, I like them. Too like we got another Tumbleweed Pokemon. Big deserved. I feel like they could have gotten more creative with its evolution, because it is just kind of one of those Pokemon that gets bigger when it evolves. Which I guess there's a decent chunk of import there. Wait, I feel like there is. Concept is fine, but something about it's really uncomfortable. Your team Delmise. Hell yeah, okay, cool. I can respect that much. Delmise is awesome. Music. I like Delmise a lot. Delmise is easily one of my favorite Pokemon. Oh, my ace is a grass gym leader. Delmise! It all makes sense. Used to like Claydol for some reason. For the same reason, but it's over now, it's cool. I really wanted to use a Claydol, and then I finally used a Claydol, and I don't know why I'm starting this like I'm gonna end it with I hate Claydol now. I don't. I like Claydol still. Claydol's fun. Delmise is pretty sick. Just rare as fuck for no reason. That is... I don't know. I get why it's rare as fuck. I don't mind it. I think it's cool to have some Pokemon be a bit more hard to find. I feel like especially nowadays, Pokemon are just kind of becoming easier to find overall, and I feel like that's a negative. I like it when some Pokemon are just, like, really annoying to get. Because it makes it cooler when you have them, you know? It makes it cooler to actually have them when they're just rare. Or a challenge to get them in it. You guys will make sure you're staying hydrated as well. I mean, true, but it's still a pain when you actually do have to track it down. That's also fair. But I'd say it's one of those Pokemon that, like, it kind of ends up being worth it for. But yeah, I feel like Pokemon are becoming too common nowadays. You know those Pokemon that are just so neutral? Like Nincada and Barboach. Mr. Flesh. You like them, that's fair. Yeah, no, I get that. I saw someone the other day being like, did you know Nincada is one of the few Pokemon to lose stats when it evolves? Because when it evolves into Shedinja, and it's like, no it doesn't. It doesn't evolve into Shedinja. It evolves into Ninjask. And if you have a Pokeball and a free spot in your team, you get a Shedinja for free, because it's like the shell of Nincada. Like, I'm finding people mistaking Shedinja for, like, an evolution of Ninjask, because it's an easy mistake to make. But, like, if you're trying to give a fact like that, I feel like you've got to know at that point that, like, that's not the case. That's not how it is. You know? I wish Shedinja was in some way viable. We'd love to use it, but it's just met in battle. I don't know. Isn't it, like, pretty solid in battle just because of Wonder Guard? I swear, like, Wonder Guard salvages Shedinja, like, a load. And that's, like, kind of the point of it, right? That's, like, sorry, you only like those two examples. But, like... Burn poison its death? I mean, like, they do, but that's not something people are always running, I find. You know? Like, you'll often just find a team that doesn't have that. And if it's a team that you can get rid of that on before Shedinja even hits the field, then you're just fine. But, yeah. Burn up Growlithe plus Skill Swap Shedinja equals free win. I can't can't remember what burn up does, so I'm gonna look up burn up. Pokemon burn up. Alright. Used by fire-type Pokemon, burn will thaw the user of its version, inflict damage on the target, then cause the user to lose its fire type. Burn up fails if the user is not a fire type, making the move always fail after the first use until the Pokemon regains its fire type. Why would Skill Swap do that? I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Typeless. Well, yeah, no, I know the typeless bit, but... Oh! Oh, you get the Growlithe Wonder Guard. I don't know why I was just not considering the fact that the Growlithe is the one getting the Wonder Guard. Wouldn't that work better on, like, an Arcanine? Or are you just using Growlithe as, like, an example? Yeah. No, I get it now. I don't know why, but I was thinking Shedinja was the one to become immune. But... that is pretty cool, actually. I mean, the other one that's, like, a little bit more doable these days is Air Balloon Terra Electric Shedinja. Because those are just as invincible as Growlithe. Because you cannot hit it. Which means you need something like Burn, Poison, Sandstorm. Which I think is pretty cool. Because it's definitely like a good Pokemon to bring along. As just like a... what's it called? Check on the opponent. Sorry, I just had to stretch. Always good to do a quick stretch, Who doesn't love a good quick stretch? Alright. She is upset. I'm not sure if you can still hear her. So if you're going to skill swap something, may as well be slacking. Yeah, huge power. Oh, I've thrown another ball. Does that work on slacking? Or is huge power like an inter-battle kind of thing? I mean, at day's end, I'm probably just going to reset instead of like going out and saving. So all these Pokemon I'm accidentally catching are not going to continue to exist. Okay, you're there. Where did the others go? Where did the others go? Wait, no, there's the Toxic. I think? Bizarre, anyway. Right. I mean, does Azumarill or Diggersby learn Skill Swap? If so, doable, yeah. That's a good point. I don't think either of them would they? Oh yeah, but another Pokemon you can't look at is the Gen 9 Litwick Dog's evolution. Oh, what was it called? Houndstone. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I prefer, Revard. But that's just because of that one scene of it sitting on top of, the boombox doing its little dance. Something about the jaw. I get that, I don't know, I like it myself. I've done the mummy strap with slacking though before. I was in, oh, what's it called? Making it smack a mummy Pokemon. Also smart. What's the, Ordino one? Entrainment? That makes you copy... It makes the target copy your ability. I feel like that's a move not many Pokemon get, though. I can imagine it just being Ordino and like a few others. It's not really a move that leaves the support Pokemon pool. Yeah. She is very grumpy, I think. Possibly never been that into looking up Ordino strats. What do you mean? It got a Mega Evolution in Gen 6. That's pretty, interesting. The only Gen 5 Pokemon to get a Mega Evolution was Ordino. Only Ordino. Why was Ordino the only Gen 5 Pokemon they chose? Ordino, why they do that? Honestly, it feels like they've been trying to make up for that ever since. Because I feel like it's always Gen 5 Pokemon getting, like, the biggest servings of stuff. Like... Left in the dust in Gen 7 still, but Gen 8, Garbodor got, was like the only non-Gen 1 Pokemon to get a G-Max form. Non-Gen 1 or 8 Pokemon to get a G-Max form. Other than Melmetal. Then a lot of the new regional forms were Gen 5. Which then spread into Legends Arceus as well, where a lot of the new regional forms in that were also Gen 5. Then in Gen 9, there were a few Paradox ones in Gen 5. I feel like Gen 9 is less of like a Gen 5 stan generation. Maybe it's because James Turner's gone. But I feel like there are still a few, right? Like King Gambit. I don't know, King Gambit's the only Gen 5 Pokemon to get an evolution. Actually, now I think about it. All the others are Gen 2. Other than that, it gets Hydreigon, Volcarona. That's not it, is it? I swear there are more. Now, I guess Gen 9 isn't as big on Gen 5. But for a bit, it felt like all we were getting was Gen 5 stuff, and I'm fine with that, but it was interesting. I don't know, I didn't mind it because it meant that we were finally stopping, like, the Kanto hype train. Like, I was very down to get off the Kanto hype train, because we were on that for a bit too long. Like, again, I stand by Charizard, but the Kanto hype train was a bit too much. I'm happy companies are starting to realise that people's nostalgia isn't only from the 90s. Because it felt like that for a while. Gonna go head off, have a good night. Understandable, Felix. I hope you have a good night too. Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great night. Right, yeah, I probably won't be live for much longer. We'll see. I don't know, with the cat making noise, it's probably going to be a better idea to get her medicated sooner rather than later. Just because she's, you know, very upset that she's being shut inside. Which I guess is fair, I would be also. If I were locked inside for maybe a year, I think I'd be kind of grumpy. If I had to be cooped up in my house with minimal social interaction for a year, I think I wouldn't be too chuffed. Is it a year she has to stay inside? No, it's not. I was making a reference to a couple of years ago. To be clear, both then and now, the reasons for staying inside were valid and needed. I'm not saying that it wasn't a good idea. I am, however, saying it was draining as hell. I don't know, I think it's going to be weird once we get to 2025 or so, because we're going to be halfway through the decade, and it still feels like we're at the beginning of the decade, you know? Like, this decade has such, like, a weird start that it feels like we haven't really progressed into it yet, but we, like, have. I guess it'll probably start feeling like we're progressing into the decade as things go on, though, because I think technologies are going to start evolving. As long as, like, corporations are smart about it, though. Like, it feels like Apple's new product is only going to make a decent amount of money because it's worth so much. Because it costs so much. I guess I liked it as I didn't have to go to work. We'll travel an hour to get to work. And you could roll out of bed and start work. That's fair. I can't slate that part of it, but, like, my nephew was born in June 2020. And, like, I barely got to see him because of that. And that was not that great. But yeah, brain. No brain. No brain at all. As per usual, no brain at all. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see as the decade progresses, as like how much it feels like we're actually getting into it. I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing though. But yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, stuff happened that was horrible. Like, near the end of COVID, your grandma passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And you had to go into work one time. But it turned out that someone there was infected. Oh shit, that is not fun at all. So you had to miss your grandma's funeral? Oh, that is awful. I'm sorry you had to... I'm sorry about that, dude. That is... Oh. I remember, at my old job, someone came into work with coronavirus to, like, announce that he had coronavirus. I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? How could he do that? Yeah. But yeah, there was a lot of, like, whack shit that happened around that time. Alright. Let's get to 4:30, I think. And then I'll end stream. That'll be the dub for the day. Methinks. Honestly, if I didn't have such bad Joy-Con drift, I'd consider playing Let's Go again at some point. So I was thinking about... I was thinking about it because this victory bell is from Let's Go. But yeah, if what was it called? Yeah, the issue with Let's Go is like you can't really use main controllers with it. Like my controller's a wired controller with no gyro, so I doubt I'd be able to use it with Let's Go. I mean, it might be worth a try, honestly, but you know, I just realized I never tried it at all. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make an attempt at it and see if it does work. But I feel like it won't because it's not got gyro. Like that's the main thing that's made me refrain from doing it. It's just because like on my main Switch handheld, the drift is just so bad, and like the controller feels so unresponsive now because the Joy-Cons are getting so old at this point. Like, when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom in handheld, like, sometimes I had to, like, press X multiple times to get, like, the paraglider to, like, deploy and shit. Which is kind of scary because the paraglider is a nice mechanic. Because you can kind of, like, glide, fall for a bit, do a bit more gliding and stuff. But, like, when the button's broken, doing that is all of a sudden a risk of death. Although, to be fair, I don't think I did die during that bit. I was checking, and I'm pretty sure the last time I died in Tears of the Kingdom was like a week or so ago, at this point. Like, before I did my second dungeon, which was the Goron dungeon, I fought a blue Lionel and died to it. And I don't think I've died since. Which I'm honestly rather impressed by. To be fair, though, like, that early game can be rough, because the moment you run into, like, the wrong enemy, you get one shot. I think the last time you died was the Lionel Coliseum. That's fair, I still need to do that, honestly. And fight a Gleeok. I've not actually fought a Gleeok yet. I tried to fight the one on Bridge of Hylia, saw that I was doing, like, no damage to it, and was like... I think I'll try this again later. Because that was, like, before I'd done any dungeons or anything. I still had, like, 5 hearts. Actually, maybe you were fucking around with builds and died, possibly? Oh, that is an easy way to die, to be fair. I still need to fuck around with builds. I don't know. Wait, stream disconnected at one point? Whack. So it's a minute ago. Interesting. But yeah, yeah, I want to fuck around with builds and also do the house building bit, because I've not built a house yet. But, what's it called? I'm aware that, like, as I was getting to the end of my playthrough, I was feeling, like, real fatigued at actually playing the game. Like, thinking about the game was great. But, like, actually playing it, I was starting to be a bit like, oh, you know? So I think I might leave it a bit before I, like, continue on and finish off all the rest of the side quests. Because I've, like, done 80 out of 130, and that's most of them. It says I've not done one shrine quest, even though I've, like, done all the shrines. So I guess I need to talk to an NPC somewhere who will be like, hey, Link, you should go to this shrine, even though I've, like, already been. Which is quite funny. That's, like, a benefit of the light route, is the fact that, like, you could just find shrines hidden around. But yeah, it was funny at the end of Tears of the Kingdom, because there's, like, a bit where, like, everyone stood around discussing, like, how to take down Ganon. And, like, a few things are suggested that, like, you're meant to then go off and do after. And then, like, so the character, like, suggests something, and then Link just kind of, like, waves his arms around a bit. And then, like, oh, you've already done that? And you've done that too? And it's just funny. Like, it's nice how, like, open-ended the game is, but it's just funny to, like, have the characters just turn around and be like, wait a fucking second. This is all, like, completed already. That's fair. You're holding off a bit before carrying on as well, too. Keep the fun alive. Kind of burned out with shrines. You wish there was more. That's fair. I was feeling that, but I think that's because I finished the final shrine before Zora's domain. Like, well, not before Zora's domain. The final shrine I did was the one that, like, is just before the Zora temple, the water temple. I know. The final shrine I did was, like, the one literally right in front of the Zora temple. Because, like, I realized, oh, I might as well just do all the rest of the shrines in the map. Because I'm almost there. There were, like, 12 shrines left, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bang them all out. And that I did. Yeah. It was satisfying, though. I just wish you could have gotten, like, the full hearts again. Like, I didn't realize that you couldn't get the full 40 hearts without sacrificing some stamina again. But, like, I'd say the stamina's more worth it than the hearts, because you can get, like, temporary hearts easily. I mean, I guess you can get temporary stamina easily as well, but, like, you know. I value stamina more than hearts. I still need to complete the batteries as well. Sorry about the cat. Again, she's just not happy that she's locked inside. Are you, eh? Of course she shuts up now. But yeah. Alright, last encounter of the week, actually. This is the last encounter of the week. After this encounter, we won't be doing this again for a year. So let's hope it's the shiny. Oh well. I got all the batteries, but after you fill them, you go around again. Yeah, no, I did that. I think I'd... Yeah. I'd filled, like, one of the blue batteries, and a bit, basically, by the end. Like, I went around for, like, a decent chunk of the game thinking that was it. But, like, the devices, the guys who were like, oh, we'll refill your batteries, acted like I could do more, so I was like, I'm not full yet. Oh yeah, Missy's right. Yeah, no, she is. But yeah. Always round. I think I'm going to end off there. Hope you all had a great time. I certainly have. Next stream will be tomorrow. It'll be more Pokey MMO. So I'd highly recommend tuning in for that, because that'll be very fun. I hope you all have had a great time. I certainly have. This has been a fun safari week. But obviously it's over now, so that'll be the end of that hunt. It's a shame we didn't get anything, but oh well. Monday we'll continue on with the Minchino hunt, so the Dunsparce will be in a fortnight. Anyway, but yeah, I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye and good night.